Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to Final Trade. I've been wanting to do a video for a while about Baldur's Gate, why the market rejected it, what were the technical reasons why the price plummeted the way it did. And now that we're about to hit Commander Masters, I think it's a good time to go into that topic and see how the same kind of analysis applies to Commander Masters. So since they are both sets supporting the most popular play format in Magic, being Commander, I think there are some good analogous conclusions you can draw from this. And a lot has been said that the problem with Baldur's Gate was that it cost too much. It was in that half premium price range, which it was. And if you look on the chart here, you can see the number of packs per box and cards per pack, and then the wholesale price. And you can see that, yeah, it is a bit more expensive than a normal standard set. And when you actually go do the math on that, what you find is that a normal 540 card standard draft box for about $95 at wholesale, or a 360 card standard set box for about $102 at wholesale, the difference in price per card at the wholesale level for that between standard and Baldur's Gate was only about 3% more expensive for the draft boxes and about 14% more expensive for the set boxes. So for the draft, essentially negligible, and for the set boxes, yeah, 14% is where people start raising an eyebrow. And the market you could expect the market to start responding to the difference in price. But that's not really the entire story. It's simply the price side. And the value side of what you got for that price is something that's neglected in commentary about why Baldur's Gate was the kind of disaster that it was, because the composition of the set was not terrible. Some of those ancient dragons are pretty great. It had a lot of very, very needed commander reprints, a lot of great new commander cards. So the set itself, the design of the set, was not bad. What I have always held was that the pack engineering was terrible. What was in the packs? That was the real problem, because when you combine that with the price per card at the wholesale level and how that flows through to the market, that's why the market rejected it. And so I've done that analysis here. I've gone back and I've really chosen to pick on the legendary cards. And ultimately, the real problem is that Commander is a singleton format. So you only get to have one copy of each card besides basic lands in your deck. And that means that when you are designing a commander-centric expansion, you need to be careful about how you load up the distribution of cards in the expansion. Because if you print too many copies of a card, it doesn't matter if it's a desirable card. Each deck can only absorb one copy of the card. It's not like regular play formats where it can take 4 copies of the card. And so it means that the buying pressure on those cards is much less, and you have to be careful. And of course, when WotC engineered the Baldur's Gate packs, it reserved several slots in every pack for legendary cards. And the result was very similar to a lot of the Mystical Archive cards in Strixhaven. They just got vastly, vastly overprinted, and the value of them went way down. And if you look out today, the most valuable legendary card from Baldur's Gate is Minsk and Boo. It has a market price of about $9 or $10. And then there's the next card down is about $5 at market price, and it just falls off from there because there are just way too many copies of all of those legendary cards. And so what I've done here is I've gone out and I've said, here's how many packs per box, how many cards per pack, how many legendaries WotC advertises in each of the types of packs. And in some cases, they're a little more clear. In some cases, they are less clear. When they say at least 3, I take that to be there are 3 slots reserved specifically for legendaries. And then there will be a little more because they will have foil slots that could have any card from the expansion. And there's a chance that that foil card you get is a legendary. So then I've calculated what is the percentage of cards in each pack that are legendary, the wholesale price, and essentially the dollars per card for the non-legendaries that you will be paying. And we see, of course, the problem with Baldur's Gate set boxes was that with 3 legendaries per pack and only 15 cards per pack, 20% of the cards in the pack were legendaries with depressed value from vast overprinting. And of course, once we discount those, and for this calculation here of dollars per non-legendary at the wholesale price, I've gone ahead and just discounted the value of the legendaries all the way to 0. Of course, they're not worth 0, but just to kind of get a feel for how it's affecting the packs, you see that the cost of the cards that are non-legendary is twice as much in the set boxes as it was for the draft boxes of Baldur's Gate. And that's why we've seen for much of the lifetime of Baldur's Gate, the over a year now that it's been in the market, that the set boxes have sold for less money than the draft boxes. In fact, it is the one set so far, the one expansion, where consistently the draft box is outperforming the set box in terms of price gain over time. And now we come to Commander Masters, and we, of course, perform the same analysis. WotC says 3 to 4 legendaries in every Commander Master draft booster pack, and at least 2 in every set pack. So I've chosen 3.5 and 2 for this. And of course, something that should definitely raise your eyebrow is this vast discrepancy in box price between these two. I don't know what is going on here. Yes, the draft boxes have 33% more cards, but then the set boxes sell for 45% more dollars. And so just once you discount the legendaries as probably going to be depressed in price because of overprinting again, the same way they were in Baldur's Gate, then you come out to the cost per non-legendary at the wholesale level, and you see that it is almost as dramatic as the discrepancy in Baldur's Gate draft to set, nearly a 50% or nearly twice as expensive in the set boxes as they were in the draft boxes. And so a couple things to take away from this. Make sure you are properly discounting the legendaries when you're deciding what to buy. If you're a box breaker and you buy several boxes of these early on to bust up into singles and sell on TCG Player, make sure you're taking into account the fact that legendaries are going to be overprinted in Commander Masters the same as they were in Baldur's Gate. Keep in mind this incredible difference in wholesale costs and how that's going to affect things. And you know, frankly, just looking at this right here, unless something significant changes or some new piece of information is brought to light that I'm missing here, I plan to not even buy set boxes for Commander Masters. I mean, the value is going to be so poor because of all of those slots that are taken up by the legendary cards. So let me know what you think, guys. Like I said, for a long time, I had wanted to talk about Baldur's Gate, put some data to it, but then it was brought to my attention that these price differences in the boxes were so dramatic for Commander Masters, and I went looking for the legendaries just to see how that was going to affect it. And remember, this is mainly a problem because it's a Commander set, and Commander is singletons. So if this were some other type of set, if this was a standard set, I bet it would do a lot better. The legendaries wouldn't collapse in price nearly so dramatically, and you would not expect the draft boxes to be worth more than the set boxes. Let me know what you think, guys, if there's any information I'm missing from this or any other questions you have about it. Otherwise, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Join me on Final Trade. Thanks a lot.